Eve paints.
Hey folks, welcome to another 3D printing Patreon preview. I have 163 campaigns to share with you today. I need to mention that from now on, I will only be doing 2 of these videos a month, probably on the first and third Saturday. They take me a lot of time and don't quite make me enough money to justify me not spending the time on other things, like my latest Kickstarter, Space Fleet. I've worked out 10 poses for both a male and female body, and now I just need to sculpt the wrinkles in their clothes, hair for their heads, and weapons to replace those stand-in Mandalorian blasters. It's just 10 Canadian dollars for the crew, and 25 if you'd like the spaceship tile set as well, and there's currently no better way you could help support the channel. Quick content warning before we start. Some of these campaigns contain pinup style models. I've left a link in the description to a video discussing why that needs a content warning. That said, let's get started. First up, here are 2 more armored beasts from Iliad 3D for December. These are a tiefling barbarian and an alchemist with a deadly potion from Iconic Minis. Here's a free flying brain monster from Miniatures by Ace. These are bladed automatons and lava bombers by Guardian's Destiny. This is Niao from Slay the Spire, a free download from BT Minis. Here's a couple squads of Beastmen and an APC from Downtown 3D Printing. Here are 5 Demon Lords from 2 Moronic Miniatures for December. Here are a bunch of new fantasy miniatures from the Aramu project. Here is a set of Fallen Fighters from Rotten Key Miniatures. This is an Elspeth Sun Champion and a 2nd edition Silver Dragon from Stormcrow. This is a bust of a Terror Ape from the Surreal Factory. The Iron Rot Brigade from 3D Print Cleric includes a fire team, flamer unit, and a lieutenant with a whole bunch of bits. Miniatures Blueprint decided on an Angel Demon duo for December. Dar Mal Hellfire, a free release from Uncanny Minis, is approaching menacingly. Print him up and unleash hell upon your enemies. Here's the completed army of Avians from Blue Wyvern for December. Here's a preview of the Rat Folk coming from Vinci Miniatures in December. This is the Merfolk Queen Callista from 3DS of San. From Lalou 3D, here is Little Red Riding Hood and a few big bad wolves to keep her company. Dark Galaxy has a set of 4 Nephilim Berserkers this month. Polygrim has a few Executioners coming in her December release. This is a Bazaar for the growing Dam District by Daddy Dungeon and Intorni. Arcanum Workshop has 3 dragons coming in December. Here are 2 new bounty hunters from Bob Naismith, as well as some bar staff. From Admiral Apocalypse Miniatures, here is the Lake of the Damned Souls, and some Wild Forest terrain bits. Here's a work-in-progress Xeno Musician from Zombie Smith Miniatures. This is Gnome Builder number 2, and a steam engine cart from Your Neighbor Night Minis. This is Dr. Trent Dougal of the Vigilance Committee from Gang Fight Games. These Grey Watchers are the final piece of the November release from Hollow Miniatures. Combat Octopus has a set of 4 special commandos with some options for their loadouts. Ratman Forge has a Sorcerer, a Witch, and a Great Big Gate this month. These Heavy Lancers on Foot are the first of 2 December sets from Empire Miniatures. This is a big ol' Samurai Panda, the last model from Celia Miniatures for November. This is the Hexen Artificer of the Wardrake from Starpharaoh Foundry. TPK Lab has a large collection of Guardians, Soldiers, Genasi, and more this month. A couple more GI Bros from Random Miniatures, as well as some aluminum golems. This is the Lammergeier Mark II mech from De Jong Lewis Advanced Weapons. This is a German World War I artillery tractor from Panzerprinter. Here are 2 pre-launch figures from Dragon's Forge Miniatures, which launches fully in January. This is Killy Sam, a patron-requested manga character from a patron of my channel, Lost Heresy. Mecha Miniatures is now up to 6 Champa Riders with Saddle Goblins. This is the League of Legends character Gwen by Skylar 3D Studios. Red Clay Collectibles has a crew of Pirate Gnolls with 3 characters and 3 squads. Labradorite Wolf has finally finished up work on their Sparrow Mouse Griffin. This is Claudio Cassini Art's December release, as well as a loyalty reward Cyclops. Here are 3 new gnomes from Zandoria Studios. This month, Red Nebula released 10mm deep ones, cultists, ghouls, and battle beasts, as well as a dogfighter, Pug in a Plane. These are Way of the Order Lion Riders from Valkyrie's Playground. Ice Queen month from Labyrinth Models includes guards, huntresses, Valkyries, and the Ice Queen herself. New models from Magori Miniatures include Landsknecht Crossbowmen, Wolf Guards, Warhounds, and Twisted Trolls. This is the Black Blood Company's Breach Squad from Nova Minis. Here are 3 new beasts for December from Beast Mode Miniatures. Here is a free set of Rocky bases from Max and Raw. This is Marchion Ro, the Eye of Nihil, and a Jedi Starfighter from Studio DR. 2 Gargoyle Studio have an APC with a detailed interior and cosmonaut assault troops for their Soldiers of Viria. This fun character from House Barteth is named Moonface. This is Survivor Pack number 14 from Vault Z Miniatures. Here's the completed Icecander set from Dragon's Lake Miniatures. Warblade Studio has several skimmers and an AT-AT this month. Here are 6 new superheroes from Legion Miniatures for December. Here's a sneak peek at the terrain Print and Paint Miniatures is working on for December. Laser Forge Miniatures has Marines in power armor and heavy power armor this month. Heroes and Beasts has a Leonin Fighter for the former and a Skeleton Knight for the latter. Here are the first 2 of 6 sets of December minis from Village's Hope Miniatures. This is the Angel of Wrath, blasting the heck out of a demon by Kraken's Vault. New models from Naga Minis include Otterfolk Paladins, a Weaselfolk NPC, and Sakti Muna. Role-playing and miniatures have some Christmas-themed minis this month. Tiny Furniture Digital is working on a little bakery this month. These are work-in-progress swamp trolls from Cult Miniatures. Here are 3 new superhero busts and 1 full figure from Doses 3D. Sable Badger has Ancient Sandstone Stackers this week. Florentine is the November figure from Bella Noct Miniatures. Gloomy Kid Minis have finished up 7 elves with some different options for their weapons as well. Across the Realms is working on zombie orcs and zombies of other sorts. Here are full previews of the Satnath Wild Hunt that Battleyak Miniatures has been teasing for weeks. Galad Miniatures have some really great knights, adventurers, and wraths for December. Here are a couple models that Dragon Workshop is currently working on. This is the Prime Commander of the Bone Spirits from Drunk Mago's Cellar. Dragonlings and Dark Elf characters from Ilhadio, as well as some Bulwark Warriors. Here's a few different squads and turrets for Space Elves from Fantasy Cult Miniatures. 2 more November minis from Crucible of Games, plus a peek at what's to come for December. The December set of creepy creatures from Void Realm minis is titled The Dark Mother. New models from Imitation of Life Miniatures include Rad Zombies and Tankbot Grunts. The newly renamed Warp Miniatures have The Lord of the Dark Dwarves Part 3, as well as some Christmas baubles and lipped bases. Here is the finished Monkey King release and December Bits box from Goonmaster Games. The December pack from Kurzluck Miniatures includes archers, men-at-arms, mounted knights, and swordsmen. Black Crag Miniatures has 5 new orcs for the month of December. Mini Rat Studio has small-scale mercenaries for December, with knights and handgunners. Mythbowl RN Studio has a new set of star players for your fantasy football needs. Here's the latest model from Imperatum Art. The Umbra Touched are the December release from Fleshcraft Studio. Here is Op4 Pack Part 2 from Turn-Based Miniatures. The December release from Claybeast Creations is called The Stampede of the Starscales. Surrogate Miniatures have new Praetorian Guards, Equites, and a Swordmaster. Here's a work-in-progress preview of the new models coming from channel patron The Dork Factory for December. Here's a group shot of all the models Capsule Chibi put out in November. From Code 2, this is the town of Steinhafen, with sheds, houses, and a clock tower and inn. Epic's End Stuffs has a new Tortle Warlord and Tortle Artificer this week. Here's 4 new mechs from Polygon Masterworks. The Winter Hunt from Flesh of Gods Miniatures includes monsters, heroes, busts, and terrain. Here's a preview of the spiky things that Print Your Monsters has in store for December. These are Rebel Fleet Crewmen from Big Mr. Tong. Knucklebones has 4 new Goblin minis this week. Rageous Creations has a set of 10 Battle Nuns. Dice Heads have a new T-Rex mount, carnivorous plants, desert scatter terrain, and more. Here's 2 new Black Knights from Titan Troll Miniatures, as well as the first 2 extras from their Christmas calendar. This is Crotone, the Sorcerer's Planet, from Sacris Mundus. Here are all the new minis from Raven Twin Miniatures for December. Ronin Arts Workshop has a Krampus diorama, a printable tavern with guests, and more. Kyoshu Miniatures has monks this month, with 2 characters and 3 squads, including bows, swords, and arquebuses. From Davale Games, here are Orcs with Swords, a Dead Elven Spirit, and a Werebear in both forms. Here's 3 new members of the Dagor clan from High Craft Miniatures. Bright Minis have a few more pirates and a bit of post and rope. These are Nug, Buzzblob, and a Desert Rain Frog from Schlossbauer. Station Forge has some new Decimators for their Grimguard army. New terrain from Charlie Factory this month includes Ice Mountains and Xenos Buildings. Black Remnant has new Bounty Hunters and Jedi coming for December, as well as squads of Nimbus Commandos. It's a very gobbo Christmas this month from Twin Goddess Miniatures. Daybreak Miniatures has some evil-looking armored warriors and an ogre. Caballero Miniatures has a small camp set and some crossbowmen that were a little out of their league. Edge Miniatures has several new Leechers in the works for December. Duncan Shadow has multi-part kits for their Otterfolk and Ghouls, as well as new Direwolves and Goblins. Here's a work-in-progress magic user from Vevictus Miniatures, as well as some heads and arms for the mercenary bodies from last week. Soulforge Studio has new Anarchist Jarhead battleships and a ZSR Glory class ship. The Frozen Wastes of Oldivore from DM Stash includes 6 characters and 6 beasts, some of them being those same characters. Print Minis has a modular spaceship set coming for December, as well as a big Falcon gunship for a loyalty reward. Here's a Fiend Forged Reaper coming next week from Rocket Pig Games. Last Sword Miniatures has a Carnosaur, Trolls of the Ashes, and even more guards for their Paymaster's Wagon. Masterwork Tools has new dungeon stone walls, pillars, arches, doorways, and more. The December minis from Prey Collection Studios includes the Queen of Blades, Kai from Clan Ishimura, and Dark Leo. The Hungry Piranhas are the latest fantasy footballers from Punga Miniatures. Printed Obsession have completed their Elemental Familiar set for December. Comet Lord Miniatures has full previews for the many poses of their Blight Titan, Knights, and King, as well as Crimson Caps and Dreadhawk, Aegon the Wolf Knight, and the Pale Prince, Archfey of Frost. Here are 3 new busts of old characters from Great Grimoire. Gearguts has some rock and roll mechs, Goblin Hicks, and previews of the vehicles coming in December. From Cobra Mode for December, we have a couple Siokul Druids and their plant constructs. Skullforge Studios is having some fun in the snow before getting on with the real work of the galaxy. Asgard Rising has a set of outcast bandits and rogues, as well as trees and bushes for scatter terrain. Atlan Forge have Asgardian vehicle ornaments coming, as well as a couple versions of an arthropod on the way. Here is the completed Rodriguez from Ritual Casting, with only a few extra options this time. The Dragon's Rest has new pre-built floor tiles in a number of patterns this month. STL Miniatures has a set of centaurs and a set of elven archers for December. Clay Cyanide Miniatures has a Christmas bonus set of cartoony style miniatures, in addition to their December set, yet to be released. RNS Studio is expanding 2 of their previous sets, with Against the Shadows Volume 2 and Age of Darkness Volume 2. From Unit 9, we have 5 members of the Unit 9 Cyborg Special Police Force, and a few members of the Hakatai group as well. Now we just need Tachikomas. Here are the first 2 models from Bite the Bullet's Bullet Town Christmas Special. Here's a closer look at the swarm of sharp-clawed alien bugs from Puppets War Miniatures, and the poor souls tasked with cleaning them out. Avatars of War has 4 barbarians for you this week. Lost Kingdom Miniatures has a pack of bloodthirsty night elves, including a large altar where they make sacrifices to call forth the equally large Leviathan. Here is Chapter 16, Part 3 from The Printing Goes Ever On, titled Halflings and Heroes. The Expedition to Scarcrest from Broken Anvil Monthly has everything you need to populate a winter adventure with animal folk, orcs, kobolds, dragons, and more. A 3D art guy has modeled a bounty hunter literally punching someone's brain out, a space commander, and a sci-fi soldier. This is the Baroness of Lunenburg from Highlands Miniatures, as well as a first look at the Fanatical Zealots coming in December. This cold-blooded bounty hunter is the 3rd December miniature from 1 gold piece. The Dragon Trappers Lodge have really stepped up their game, with multiple poses and modular weapons, as well as a new terrain tier. Mini Monster Mayhem is working on some elemental beasts for their Dynasty of the Wild December release. Cyberforge's December release is The Land of Sand, with Desert Warriors, Nobles, House Troopers, a Sandworm, and more. The last of Epic Miniatures' December set includes a Cobra Dragon, Fire Salamanders, and an Etten tribe. But then they have this special extra set of townsfolk, including people of all walks of life, and also a bit of livestock, and even a barn to keep them in. The Maker's Cult is adding an Arcanus Assassin to their set of 4, and has previews up for more Black Knights, Tempest Legion, Dark Crusaders, and more. Lord of the Print has a teaser image of a demon from their next release. Here's a sneak peek at the new Beastmen army coming from one-page rules, as well as new robot legions, including a bunch of terrain and even spaceships. A good haul from MZ4250 this week, with a bunch of dragons, several heroes and arch enemies, 4 patron requests, and even a few more from Appendix A. The December set from Archvillain Games is titled Tooth and Tusk, but there's also some beaks in there. Don't forget about the owlbears. And finally for today, Artisan Guild has a band of Dragon Peak Barbarians, with some riding Smilodons and one riding a Wyvern. That's all for now. I'd like to give a huge thanks to all my supporters on Patreon. All patrons for November and December will be receiving a part of my Space Fleet Kickstarter campaign as a thank you for your support. Check back Tuesday for another Kickstarter countdown. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the videos, and thanks for watching.